Well, welcome to Beyond Sunday, a podcast from Schweitzer Church. In studio today with me is Farmer Bill, or Bill Blair, and he is here to talk about the East Stanford Neighborhood Garden. Welcome, Bill.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you in studio.
Thank you.
You've been in here before.
Yep.
It looks almost the same.
Yeah, just about the same. I think you keep adding stuff.
Just a thing or two.
Yeah.
And I loved what you said earlier today. You said you knew that this was coming, so you put on a clean T-shirt.
Yeah. Last time you caught me by surprise, and I came right out of the garden over here. And this time I planned ahead a little bit. I even trimmed my beard, if you want to notice a little bit.
I think it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I trimmed that up a little bit.
Okay. Well, it is the season of fall.
Yep.
Which means that there are things happening in the garden things are changing.
Yes, they are. For those that pay attention to the garden and tour it once in a while, or pay attention when they come to church on Sunday and look it over, they're probably going to notice a lot of difference this week as opposed to last week even, because we have the summer stuff that's dying out and being taken out. It's stopped producing enough to be viable, and so we're removing it. We're getting ready to start putting in winter stuff, and some of it's already in. We got a lot to go. Thanks to this unseasonably warm fall we've had, we're a little bit behind on our winter produce because I just didn't have the heart to rip out stuff that was still producing pretty well from the summer until the day length got so short, it quit producing, and then I just went ahead and took it out.
So what are some things that are coming to an end that you call summer crops?
Well, your tomatoes definitely.
Yeah.
That's gone. Okra will be gone. Green beans is gone. That's Ceylon spinach will be gone. For us, those are the big items. Of course, your squashes, peppers, all of those kind of things. We grow those, but not they're not a major crop for us. And they'll all be disappearing. And
then what things are you putting back in the garden as winter crops?
You're going to start seeing more of your brassicas, more Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, things along that line. You'll see more mustards, more lettuces, a lot more lettuces, and a lot more green onions. Those are two mainstays for us. Romaine lettuce is our biggie, and then that's followed by green onions. And so it's mostly the things that people typically grew in cold frames years ago. That's what we'll be growing in the hoop houses.
Okay.
So
one of the things that gets harvested in the fall are pumpkins.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that grows in a number of garden plots out here are pumpkins.
Mm-hmm.
But the pumpkins that grow here are harvested a little differently than most people think about, like the pumpkins that they're going to have out for Halloween or other festivities.
Exactly right. If the pumpkins over in the community side of the garden that the Chin operate, if you see a pumpkin over there, it's an accident because they harvest the blossoms and the tips of the vines, and they really don't go after the pumpkin. They will eat them. They'll use them if they get snuck in. But if you see any pumpkins over in the Chin garden, that's an accident. That's the one that got buried up under the leaves during the summer, got pollinated and developed and got so big that it was like, oops, we'll just leave that one.
So what do they do with the bulbs?
I don't know, honestly. They stir fry everything, or they make everything into soups. Almost every item over there that in discussion with them, I'll say, how do you cook this? Soup. So I think it's basically a soup diet.
Okay.
But they make some excellent soups.
You just had me thinking of an old television show, Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah.
Where they had the soup Nazi.
The soup Nazi. Well, these guys ain't
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, these guys ain't like that. They will share with you. The last summer, Pastor Lyle, he made Ken and I up a batch of sour leaf or sour weed soup, and brought it in, and I was amazed. I found a new soup I like, and
Really?
I'm not a soup fan. But I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was good enough that I actually grew a patch of sourweed over there this summer for me just to use. And I made soup out of it several times, and I found I could follow their recipe, which is mainly ginger and garlic and bitterweed or sourweed soup, boiled into a pretty thick broth.
Yeah.
And but I put a little wrinkle on it. I would chop up some shrimp and throw that in with it, or a little bit of pork and throw that in with it. And man, it made a fantastic soup.
That's awesome.
And really a good tasting soup, real hearty. You
Uh-huh.
know, really surprised me.
Okay.
Honestly.
Okay.
But I think they got a few tricks up their sleeve there that they don't share with you all the time.
You know, isn't it amazing that when you get around other people with other cultures, with other experiences, and you begin to share, there's all kinds of things, good things that come out of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have, we've got. I don't know if you've noticed over there yet or not, but go walk over there another week or so. It's amazing how many of them have. Excuse me. How many of them have adopted our technique of row covering with plastic. They're even making the little hoops in their beds and
Sure.
covering them with plastic, and they're growing garlic and mustard and different types of greens in there, and they're growing them in there all winter. They never done that, and of course, where they came from, that there was no need to do that,
Uh-huh.
and so they're adapting those techniques. We're also trading vegetable items back and forth. We've picked up Ceylon spinach from them. We're really trying to develop a market for the sourweed, and I think it would be a soup that I think most Americans would be really surprised at how good of a soup that makes,
Huh.
and how little it takes to make it. You know, it just doesn't take that much to make it. And in return, they started growing our green beans. Beans they grew was mostly the long noodle beans and the purple hull beans and
Sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what they noticed, we didn't try to teach them anything. What they picked up on was that, hey, your green beans are ready before ours, and you're picking 3 times more beans.
Hmm.
And so then they came to us and said, yeah, can we get seed for that? So we gave them seed for that.
That's awesome.
So it works out good, you know.
One question I wondered, I know at some point you'll have kind of an estimate about how much produce was grown
Yes.
over the summer. Have you
Not
tallied any of that up?
totally yet. I can tell you dollar-wise where we're at, pretty close.
Sure.
We're about $11,000 just in our side.
Okay.
And that's not the chin side. We can't get them to keep the records
Okay.
that we need.
Sure.
We know they're growing a ton of stuff in there.
Yeah.
If you'd have been there night before last, just about dark, just before this cold snap hit, there was probably 50 people in there harvesting and stuffing it all into trash bags. And there were pickup loads of trash bags sitting all through the garden
Oh my goodness.
of greens and produce and sourweed that they'd cut off to take home to process. And it was amazing. It was amazing. But I know we're right at $10,000 right now
Okay.
in dollar wells. I haven't got the total weights yet, but it'll be substantial. We're increasing it every year.
Yeah.
And the first year that the market garden operated, we sold about $2,500 worth. The second year was about $8,500 worth, and then this year is going to be about 12 by the time it's all done.
Okay.
About 12,000.
And if people would like to pick up some of the produce from the garden, they can go to Mama Jean's.
They can go to Mama Jean's right now. I'm actually getting ready to start working with some of your people to try to open up a direct market, and we would like to use your staff as a guinea pig. And it would be an online ordering system. We would have a list of what is available for this week. You would fill out your order, you pay online, and then we have a set pickup time. We'd have a set pickup time like Thursday from noon to 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
We'd guarantee there's somebody at the garden. You pull in, give them your ticket number, your receipt number. They go in the cooler, they get your box or bag, and they bring it out, hand it to you, you go on your way. And so we're working at it. I'm trying to get that worked out with some people. this is a brand new announcement to almost every.
It's brand new to me.
I know, and you're going to start saying, who are you talking to? Well, I can't tell you yet because I haven't talked to very many people. I mentioned it to a couple about whether there would be interest in it.
All right.
And so we'd like to use your staff as a guinea pig to work the kinks out, and then we would open it up to your whole congregation. We don't want to go public yet because we're not big enough to do that.
Okay.
But we would open it up to the congregation of the church.
Thanks, Bill.
And we're wanting to get a way to be recognized and to contribute back.
Sure.
Because we do appreciate what the church does for us. We wouldn't be here without you guys.
Sure.
So,
We're glad you're here.
You bet. Thank you.
Yeah. And thanks for coming in,
No
sharing
problem.
what's happening in the garden.
Yep.
Always good to know what's happening in the garden. Thanks
And-
for that new opportunity
Yep.
and that thing that we don't even know about. I don't know anything about, but
We'll talk more.
We'll find
I
out
guarantee
more.
you.
There we go.
I'm going to be meeting with Jennifer here probably tomorrow. She don't know that yet,
Okay.
but I'm going to pop in on her tomorrow, and we're going to try to start getting this in motion.
Okay.
See, we want to gauge try to gauge the response. If it's something that even people is interested in or not.
Sure.
If they're not, no harm, no foul.
All right.
But we want to give them the opportunity.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Well, thanks for sharing with us this update.
You bet.
Thanks to the listeners and viewers for joining us today. We always look forward to seeing you on Sunday, and we always look forward to hearing what's happening in your life, in your world, beyond Sunday. Bye-bye now.